From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Waker's pearls and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance, it was resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Venus nightly, never free from the deck. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they try to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm's speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tent that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined where what's next. Temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they try to keep us from.
All right. This is, and you are under the groove. This is Touching Bases with the People, brought to you by Under the Groove Podcast. This is where we get down with the get down because we are focused on the focus. Let's focus, people, as we say, so that we can do what we need to do, man. There's some real stuff, man. Just know that this is some real stuff. I see the comments, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get in there. For those who don't know, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this podcast if you see fit. This is where we get it in. All right. All right. B1 equals black first. You know, people over paper, y'all. People over paper. All right. Yeah. All right. I see you in here, B60M. Love that, man. Greetings and salutations to you, bub, and the Royal Group congregation. Likewise, bro. Greeting, peace, and love to you and yours. Hopefully everything is everything, and you're keeping your situation above board, especially not just you, but those that you love, man, you support. Keep it above board, y'all. Everything on the top, nothing on the bottom. This is what we do, man. All right, Queen and Zinga, I see you say happy hump day to the Royal Group congregation. I trust all is well. Black first. That's to get down. That's to get down. Yeah, man, I'm here. Shoot, you know, and I'm pretty sure everyone else will show up. You know, this is what we do. It's Wednesday, hump day, as Queen and Zinga said, you know, so we're getting through this week, man, fairly quick, but nonetheless, man, we're here. All right. It's a grand rising. Take it for what it's worth. Know that anytime that you are able to be, you know, present, you know, front and center with any get down, not just this one, but any get down, you are fortunate, you're blessed, you know, to be in this arena, you know, be in the now. You know, that's what I like to say. We're in the now. Slow day, but a day nonetheless. You know, I take them as they come, man. I'm not gonna do no complaining, man. I've been in the lab all day trying to get it together, you know, work out some things, you know, make sure that, you know, this thing that we're constructing, that we're trying to build up into something viable, you know, something that can be on social media and respected, you know, not just respected, but appreciated, you know, it's something, you know, it's something that I, you know, I don't mind doing. In fact, I enjoy doing it. The people's participation means a lot. You know, let's not get it twisted, man. Participation of the Royal Group congregation is something we look forward to every day of the week, Monday through Fridays now, y'all. Again, for those who don't know, this is Under the Groove podcast, and we are touching bases with the people. This is Black History Month. I'm been kind of remiss, not really, but yeah, in a way, I've been kind of remiss about the month, and how it's been set aside for us to commemorate, not just our accomplishments or what we brought to the table in terms of society, man, the world, but also the things that have been done to us that in a lot of ways were done intentionally to keep us from rising, to keep those from knowing the true history of the Black men and women, not just here in America. Let's be real, man. Let's be 100, but all over the world, man. Our contributions, man, are worldwide. All right. That's what they are. And that's what they should remain to be. And not only that, but that's what we should push. We should push every day, not just in the month of February, All right, Raymond Score, I see you. 102, man. Peace and blessings, bro, to you and yours, homie. Hopefully everything is everything. You, your family, man, are well. You're putting it together, man. Want to send a shout out to you, man, and the Rays. Hopefully everybody is well, man, and pushing for something better, man. I think that's the way to go. We want to elevate, man. If we find ourselves in the day, when we get up in the morning and we're there, got to make the best of it, man. Got to make the best of it. Ride the day out, own the day, seize the day, man. Make it everything you can, because you're in it. You are in it, But Raymond Skull, man, he says, salute, bud. Peace and blessings to the kings and queens in the Royal Group congregation. Peace and blessings right back to you, bro. Good to see you here. All right, Lisa Moore, I see you early today, sister. That's a good look. She said, hey, big bro, I hope all is well with you. Peace and love to the kings and queens. In the chat, B1, Black First. For those of you who don't know, B1 equals Black First. Can't stress how important that is, how that needs to be pushed, how we need to stand on that, not just as a platform, but as a foundation. We should push that, man, every opportunity we get, I don't mean in the sense of context where we putting ourselves out there, we've been confrontational about B1 equaling Black First, but we don't just wear it, we are it, how we go about our day represents that, B1, be the one that represents Black First. That's to get down. That is to get down. Yeah, again, this is February. Every day of the month, every day of the year should be, Black history. Especially for those who don't really know, but those more so to the fact who don't appreciate the contributions of Black Americans, African Americans, or whatever we, tend to label or deem ourselves to be, FBAs or whatever. This is, our get down, this is our struggle. And we got to live in it, man. We have to live in it. Let's make it, something worthwhile living for, Antonio Anthony, man, love on me and salute right back. I see you in this get down. All right. Good to have you amongst us, brother. Good to have you amongst us. That's to get down. What good, man? How's your day? How have your day been? And that goes for you as well, Lisa. How has your day been? How have you treated yourselves in today? Or, just participating, living in the day. What have you made of it, Queen Nzinga, same to you. You going to say that's right. Every day is Black history. Every single day. I think that, again, that's something we got to wear that, man. It got to be, it's internal and then it becomes external, just in how we carry ourselves, can be no doubt, not just in our minds, but anybody who come into contact with us, we're representing Black First, respectfully, Black First, Yeah, again, man, my day was kind of, it was, a day I appreciated, was able to get a lot done. Especially with the platforms or the channels. Not only that, but hanging around the wife, what I'm saying, watching her do her thing, mess with her, mess with brother-in-law a little bit. You know, had to get some pointers from brother-in-law a little while ago. Appreciate him though. He don't know it, but I appreciate him. City 1969 said, "Good evening, brothers and sisters. I'm in the chat 90% of the time. I just never say nothing." Well, you know, man, your presence, man, is enough. You know, I saw you in the comments on some other get down another on one of the channels, and you made a proper statement, an appropriate statement. I appreciate it. I responded to that, man. You know, your involvement, man, like everybody else, is important. Let's be 100, man. Just to have you here, man, like I say, that's above board. You know, you keeping it above board. We appreciate you being in here, bro. You know, and whenever you feel or you think, you know, your input, you know, deserves to be in here, you want to put it in here for us to grab the Royal Group congregation and hear what you have to say, be it informative or educational. You know, this platform exists just for that, bro. You know, so yeah, we don't, like I said, we don't twist no arms. We ain't no force, ain't no pushing. You know, this is this get down, man, where people understand, man. Look, hey, you able to get down in here, man, how you see fit, as long as it's respectful, as long as it's considerate, and we speaking and we spitting about love and unity. That's all that matter, man. You know, to have you brothers and sisters show up, man. Again, that's being above board. You know, you're in this get down. That's all that matter. I got a video I want, excuse me, I want to drop in a little bit. You know, it deals with Black history. Something I ran across. I ran across quite a bit. I typed in rare moments in Black history, man, and the shit that popped up, man, was just, you know, most of it was atrocious. You know, most of it was just it was disparaging, man. It was hurtful shit. You know what I'm saying? I said no, so I scrolled through it all, and I found a piece I thought was appropriate. You know, just to give us an understanding. It's bad, but it's not bad like that type of bad where they, you know, doing all kind of weird shit, man. But it speaks to how the government has had a hand in seeing to it that we don't ascend, you know, that we don't ascend. And you have to admit that's part of our Black history, what has been done to us, you know what I'm saying? The discrimination, the persecution, all that, man. The erasure, you know, of our people, you know, and our accomplishments, you know, our contributions, you know. So I chose that one because, like I said, it wasn't something just way out horrendous. It's bad enough, you know what I mean? But it wasn't that, you know, that type of, you know, that stuff. I think that we, you know, it's etched in our minds. We know what it is, you know. So I didn't need to show that stuff again. Smoke Miami Choctaw, man, what it do? Let's say, hey man, peace and blessings, bro. Good to see you back with amongst us, man. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Voodoo. Love and respect to you too, bro. He say love and respect to you, bro, the family and our people. Means a lot, man. It means a lot. How you been, bro? Ain't holler at you in about a week. You know, you got to do better, no doubt. Hopefully everything is everything, man. You know, in that situation, man, you're finding a way, man, to, you know, extract yourself from that shit, man. You know, that, and you know, to be quite honest, you already know how I see it, man. I can't wait for that day. Beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing, man. Yeah, man. So, you know, that's what this shit, you know, that's what this represents, man. Black history is every day. It ain't just February. And I think our people need to get out of that mindset. And this is how they try to construct our way of thinking. They say, hey, this is what we're going to get y'all. And this is how y'all should go about it, you know. And I think, you know, to some degree, they do an effective job, you know. Uh, a lot of us, we wait to February to want to, you know, represent what blackness is, you know. I think that's a mistake we all make. Again, you know, blackness, Black history should not be confined to 1 month in a year, you know, in the shortest month of the year at that. You know, it should be every day, all day, every day. We pushing blackness. B1 equals black first. And this is what I'm saying. This is what we say when we say that. We have to push that. We have to push that. Yeah. Voodoo, you say, yes, sir. I'm taking it day by day. Preparation is key for us all. Awareness is a beginning. That's the start, man. That's the start. When you're aware, hey, what they say, when you know better, you do better. Yeah, it's good to see you though, bro. You can get mine to the loved ones. Let everybody know, man, in my thoughts, man. You in my thoughts, bro. Hey, and just so you know, I don't know if you remember Finn. I hollered at Finn the other day too, Vu. Yeah. Finn folks, man. That's folks. Yep. Okay. I like I said, I have a clip I want to run, and it's about how long is this clip? It was 19 minutes, but I'm not gonna run the whole 19 minutes. It's rare we do that in touching bases with the people, unless the RGC, hey man, say, hey, run that whole clip. We're gonna run the whole clip. That being said, as far as that go, that's something we want to start incorporating in this get down, running clips, and then having dialogue behind them. But more so, want to run these clips and then set up the get down, the apparatus where if you brothers and sisters feel inclined, if you want to, we're gonna have a link in there where you can call in, call in and say what you want to say on the get down, So we're gonna I think before the week is out, we're gonna get that thing up and running, test drive it, see how it feel for us, see if we something we like, All right, Rakufu, I see you, boy. You be on my neck too. So we didn't know which movie run you were talking about, because as you should know, there's more than one movie called Run, and I was sitting out with my wife asking, is it the one where I don't know if Biggie is in it or Tupac is in it? I don't know, but it's some rapper or so. I don't know which one it is. If you could be more specific, yeah, okay, 2025. And I swear the wife said, I don't know, it might be this 2025. I said, I don't know. I didn't know. What actually, well, for me, me pushing that motorcycle that half a mile did more damage than I thought. It kind of knocked my neck out of whack, man. Been having a headache, man, for the last couple of days, but it's going away now. So that was a lot of strain, I think. I got in the bed, man, and we chopped it up, man, and didn't know which movie to watch or to put on. I said, well, we'll find out from him tomorrow. Man, I went to sleep, man. I crashed out, man. I swear, man, I crashed out, man, and I needed that rest. I ain't gonna lie. Still got like a mild headache. I don't know what it is. My brother-in-law said, man, maybe I'm coming down with something. I said, I don't know. I know I started feeling this way after I pushed that damn bike that far. But yeah, Run, we gonna get on that 2025 now that we know which one it is. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be on top of that one for sure. Raymond Scholes said, man, I've been seeing atrocious acts perpetrated, on us in the past. White mobs attacking black communities. On the upside, I focus on our black brilliant minds whose contributions to America is immeasurable. Yeah, I'm the same way though, Roscoe. I'm just like, all right, man, I don't have to concentrate on that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted my focus to be on what it is that we do, or what it is our people have done in the past that in a lot of ways they can't erase. You know what I mean? They can't cover over. And those are the things I tend to try to focus on, as far as that goes. And I've said this on the get down on touching base with the people. I'm one, I don't watch slave movies. I don't watch movies where there are things being done to us, what I'm saying, that just are atrocious, and I say that because I'm like that, because I think it's still a form of trying to implant or plant in our subconsciousness, man, a sense of inferiority. You know what I mean? A sense of weakness. And I know we ain't that, so I don't partake in it. But I tend to gear towards or watch those types of movies, man, that have some momentum that's inspiring, uplifting, or empowering, for our people. So that's where I'm at with that, man. And I appreciate your comment on that, Raymond. That's some real spit, man. Yeah, I'm getting on that though, Rakufu. I'm glad you specified which one it is. You say it's about African refugees in Europe. Yeah, man. And boy, don't we have a history there as well? They'll paint that over. They'll try to cover that up too, especially Britain, Paris, Germany. All of them. They try to cover over it. But fact of the matter is, man, shit, we touched every continent. Been on every continent. And they can't say otherwise. I mean, they work at trying to hide it, trying to erase, our footprint. That's something they do, and we can't expect nothing less of them. But in spite of that, when they do that, we have to be, and it's pretty much what you're saying, Roscoe, we have to still focus on what really matters to us. Our focus have to be, we don't forget, never forget, man, what's been done. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, let's look forward. Let's find, those avenues of roads, man, that's gonna, empower us. Those roles or those type of ventures or journeys that, are inspiring. You know what I'm saying? That's what matters, I think. So, hey, man, I got you though, Rakufu. I'm jumping in on that, man, tonight. So when we talk tomorrow, I'll be able to let you know y'all watched that flick, man. I did. All right, Smoke Miami, man. He said, man, getting a living trust, EIN, is important to have control of political power. It's funny you say that. I'm on my way. We're on our way in the next couple of days to go take care of something just like that. Like I say, we've been trying to, line our ducks up in the row, man, because what it is this, man, and this is how the family sees it, not just me and my wife, but our family, especially those who are conscious, Brother Drew, Benny in the back, and, others. We see that something is coming down the pipe. Something big is about to happen, not just in this country, but in the world. And it's going to take a drastic or dramatic effect on the people. And I'm telling y'all, we'll get the brunt of it. We will get the brunt of it. That's just, it's the way it is. So we've been sitting down, discussing, getting our ducks in a row. So we're making our moves, man. When the shit go down, we want to be prepared. We will be prepared. That's a fact, man. We're not gonna, we ain't let nobody do nothing to us, man. Mean that shit. Them days long gone. I was watching a video today. It was the craziest shit, man. So this brother, I take it that they were down south. Working on some type of project, looked like they had welding torches and shit, constructing something. White boy come up to the brother, man, and got the hooping and hollering about something, a cell phone or something. Next thing you know, he put his hands on the brother, and the brother say, man, check it out. Well, watch out, da da da. White boy talks some more shit, bro. Say, man, just go on, man. Go on about your business, White boy, man, next thing you know, then grab the brother by the neck. Now in my mind, I'm like, I wouldn't even have waited for that. You know what I mean? Just the fact you put your hands on me would have been enough for me. But the brother, like, the white boy got like the brother, like, hey man, I'm telling you, please. He's saying, please, man, get your hands off me, man. White boy, I don't know, man, what the hell he ate or drank or what drug, what I'm saying, he took, but he was super bold, man. And the brother said, hey man. And boom, that was all she wrote, man. He hit him with an open palm first, right? Bah! So hard, knocked him to the ground. And that ground and pound, that UFC shit. He just dropped, man, had him between both his legs and had him pent, went to work. But I was kind of still pissed because from the time that dude put his hands on that brother, and this the thing about us, man. Well, first, by the time when he put his hands on that brother, all bets off. I don't care about this job. I don't care about nothing. All bets off, man. And I want to send a message. Not just to those who think they can do that, but to brothers saying, hey man, this is how we deal with this type of shit, you know. But again, man, job, none of that would have mattered to me. None of that would have mattered to me, you know, because at that point the violation didn't already occurred. So hey man, I'm responding off the rip, man. They, you know, life and bullshit twisted. I gotta set you straight, you know. And I think I'm gonna pull that video up. Matter of fact, I think I want to pull that video up. And I tip my hat to bro. I said, okay, happy Black History Month, bro. You got it in. You know, that's how I felt about that, man. But that was some dude. No how, no way, man. Let me find that fucking video, please. You know, I get all kind of brothers, they send me stuff all the time. And again, man, most of this stuff be above board. I love it because it be some solid stuff, man. Damn. Where do I see that damn video, man? I'm gonna find that video. I hope it might be in my timeline. But anyway, you know, hey man, we cannot afford let me backtrack. Part of our problem is, man, we too nice sometimes. You know, we're too nice. You know, we're too forgiving. You know, we you know that old saying, you give an individual an inch, you know, you want to take a foot. You know, you give him a street block, you want to take a mile. You know what I mean? I ain't under that umbrella, homie. I'm not allowing, especially no YT, you know, no how, no way, nobody else. You know, I would have been in that instance, I'd have been more reserved, you know, more calm, more in control. Had it been a brother, I'd be like, look, bro, you know, I would have did that for that. But that other scenario, nah, that wasn't the flu, man. You know, in fact, I'd have probably snapped all together, to tell you the truth. Man, shit. Yeah, man. Smoke Miami say, man, getting in the living trust. Yeah, and again, back to what we're talking. That's something that we all should be working on, man. Preparing for the future, man. We don't know what's really finna happen, but if we focus on what's going on around the world, something will tell us. You know, we got that energy, that frequency, them vibes, and it tell us shit that other people miss. That something is about to happen in the world, you know, and it ain't gonna be pretty, you know. But as a result of that, I contend that when it happens, should it happen, you know, don't know specifically what it is, that Black folk are gonna be on the ass end of that shit, man. We gonna get the shit end of the stick. And we not gonna wait for that. We're gonna be prepared, man. We need to be prepared as a people, as a unit. You know, get over whatever differences we have, so that when the shit hits the fan, we be able to cover ourselves, man, accordingly, appropriately, so that we don't get stunk out the game. You know what I mean? That we ain't all shit faced, you know, because we wasn't ready, you know, because we forgot how these people get down, you know. Damn all that. But I need to find that damn video, because I'm telling you, that's worth sharing. That one there is worth sharing. Let me go to my history. Yeah, man. This shit is crazy. Then, man, mad crazy. I know it's in here. I know I got it. Anyway, I'm gonna look for this where I do this. I'm gonna try to two birds, one stone, man. Get to it. Might be on my other one. Yeah. Give me a minute, y'all. Let me find this, man. Oh, and then there was the one. Oh, I found it. I found it. I'm finna drop this, let y'all see it. Then there was the one about the brother in prison, right? In Toledo, somewhere in Ohio, I suspect, where this white CO, you know, was fucking with a brother, you know, and the brother got 32 years to do, you know what I'm saying? He do a lick, him and his boy get killed in the commission of, you know, of the lick or whatever. So he in there 32 years, man. the CO come and, disturbing. He in his cell, he, getting him a nap, getting a little cat nap. She, going and disturbing, make it come out, toss the cell up or whatever. So his thing is, man, I need a white shirt. And I take that to mean, in California, we don't call them white shirts, a lieutenant or a captain, coming, hey, man, let me, put my grievance, before you, man, this shouldn't go on, whatever. She started giving me flack about that. Come to find out the whole thing, the whole issue was behind her thinking that he and some more brothers was laughing at her, probably because she was ugly, big and fat. I don't know. But so that was her way to way to retaliate. Anyway, so the brother's like, man, I just want to talk to a white shirt, you know what I'm saying? Because what you did was, it wasn't cool. It wasn't, and she got to cussing. I don't give a fuck. Da 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 da. And she's like, yeah, man, going back to what he said, man, I'm behind the line. And she like curse him. I don't give a damn about the stripe or the tape on the floor, whatever. He said, all right, man, look, I just want to see a white shirt. He saw somebody, hey, man, get a white shirt in here, da da da. So now she like, cuff up. Yeah, you'll see a white shirt in SEG, and ask SEG going to put him in administrative segregation. He said, what? You serious? What you talking about? She said, cuff up. Now she's going big willy on him. Put out the mace, like, cuff up. I ain't going to ask you again. He said, hey, man. He said, he turned sideways, got that stance. Like, hey, man, don't do that. Don't do that. He said, I've been here, man. I ain't been in no shit. I ain't got no write-ups or nothing. Don't do that. I'm telling you. And then she maced him, and that was all she wrote, man. I mean, man, he put a beat down on her like like you would do a man to a man, I mean, to the point where it dropped her and stumped her face out. And then when the other CEOs come, I mean, a good minute long vicious. She laying on the ground. You could tell she could barely breathe through her mouth and nose. That's how messed up she is. The body cam though on her it catches everything. Bro, like put in mad work. It was two CO bras, but the other CO bra put tips on her too, shoved her out the way and went back to the one that started to me. I guess he like, fuck it. I didn't went this far. I might well go, hey man, because I make it worth it, and I was like, damn, man. I didn't feel no kind of way, to tell you the truth. But hey, man, I think sometimes, man, people get more than they bargain for, Let me throw this clip in here, man. This shit is crazy. All right. Hold on. Be patient with me, y'all. Be patient. Almost done. Crazy. Okay, let's jump this. Let's drop this. Let's see if we get this one, man. No. Where's it at, man? Where's it at? Don't play with me. Damn. No. Patience, y'all. Patience. Gotta be in here. You just showed me that's the right one. Hold on. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me put and catch his hands. All right. Let's see if it come up now. Nah, man. Come on. Don't play. Yeah, that shit coming. Like hell, I can find it because I'm telling you, I think it's worth looking at. Shit. No. Come on, dude. It got to be in there. Unless they took it down. I can see them taking it down, though. I promise you, I can see them taking it down. All right, couple more seconds, and then we're gonna go on and go because I don't see it. I'm gonna search this thing high and low. How many days ago was this? That's February the 9th. How the hell ain't in here? What employee charged the bully? Yeah. Shit. Ah, man. I pumped this video up. Oh, is that it? No, that ain't it. No, that ain't it. Shit. All right, man. We ain't gonna find it, man. I would look for this thing in the worst way. Probably good thing. So God got excited all over again. Shit. All right. No dice. Oh, up. Found it. we gonna play this one. What the fuck? All right, sorry about that.
Go ahead on, man. Watch out the way, man. Watch out the way, man.
Hey, y'all need to stop, man. Y'all need to stop. I got it. You can't put your hands on him, bro.
That's it, right? Let me go, man. Let me go, man.
Something wrong, man.
Let me go, man. Let me go, man. Let me go, man. Let me go, man.
Hey, y'all need to stop, yo.
Dude, please, man. I'm begging you, please. I'm begging you, please, man. Dude, I'm begging you.
All right.
I saw an amazing.
All right. Hey, man. Shit. Hey. Hey, man. Quit playing. Quit playing. I'm telling you, the brothers still don't be controlling themselves far beyond the measure of self-control, if you ask me. Hey, man, at some point, damn all that, man. Damn all that, man. For whatever reason, man, that white tea person thought, you know, what you talking about don't mean jack. Don't mean jack. And I'm gonna show y'all, you know, this other one, man, and this some crazy stuff too, man. This some crazy stuff. You know, I'm gonna just show this, then we out the way, man, with this shit, man. But you know, man. And did y'all hear about the sister that got shot 6 times by Detroit PD for a traffic stop? They was trying to kill her, man. Okay, hold on. Yeah, man. One more, y'all. Yeah, here you go. I think that's it. Ah, is that it? There we go. All right, let's play this one.
Turn around.
Now, please don't do that.
Turn around and cuff up.
Please don't do that.
Turn around and cuff up.
Cuff up from what?
Because you want to see white shirts? They got white shirts inside.
I'm just asking.
Turn around.
I'm just asking you. Please don't
Turn
do that.
around and cuff up. It's the last time I'm going to tell you. It's the last time I'm saying it. Turn around and cuff up.
Please don't.
On March 14th, 2025,
Don't hear that, homie.
38, Ohio.
If you would,
Like for real.
I'm not calling a white shirt. If you would like to grieve the situation, you can grieve. Then that's fine. I'm not calling a white shirt. Are you having a mental health crisis? Do I need to send you to TPU?
I don't care about nowhere. I just been
I'm
level 4
asking
for
a
13 years.
question.
I've been level 4 for 13 years.
I'm asking a question.
I've been level 4 for 13
Stop
years.
and talk to me. I'm asking a question. Are you having
I'm asking you a favor.
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm asking a question.
It seems that a lot of this.
Hey, homie, you talk too much. Let's get to the action. We got people. We got other things we want to talk about.
Stop the roll.
Yeah. Man, I bet you she learned from that. I want to see the Get Down. This ain't the one I watched, man. But anyway, we're going to go and get that out of there, man. We're going to get that out of there.
Please stop cussing.
Bro, like, man, please. Like, please don't do that. Hold on, y'all. Let me get back to what I had lined up in the queue.
Castro and the UN Congress repealed a law enacted by the previous right-wing administration.
All right, we'll get back to it. I'll find it. Anyway, you know, that was the Get Down, man. I think that for us, a lot of us, man, we try to avoid shit. You know what I'm saying, with these people, man. And I'm saying, man, I don't think that really pans out. I don't think that it matters. You know, because the first sign of what they perceive to be weakness, they escalate. They escalate the whole time. They missing that, you know, a lot of us, man, we trying to, you know, we trying to de-escalate. We understand the consequences of shit, man, way better than a whole lot of other people. This brother, both brothers, like, please. Both of them was please, you know, and I'm like, you know, nah, man. Anyway. Oh, wow. That was some crazy stuff, man. And shit, I ended up losing my piece, man. I had a piece I wanted to do. Oh my shit. I lost my shit, man. Hold tight with me, y'all. Let me go find my Get Down. Oh shit. I ain't gonna be able to find it because I already know it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. That's okay. We're gonna get rid of that. Hold up, one more thing. Close. It was that one. No, it ain't that one. One second, y'all. A little patience. No, that's that one right there. We don't want to look at that one. Y'all probably can't see it, which is probably cool. Give me a minute, everybody. Yeah, give me a minute. I'm gonna find my cue, man. All right, we'll probably just go find something else then. Okay, we can do this one. That's a short. Yeah, we probably do this one. Let's cue this one. Okay, we'll probably do that one. But anyway, yeah, man, see, we have to prepare, man. And I mean, when we prepare, we got to do it in such a way to where nobody else get passes. You know what I'm saying? Because I think our lives are in the balance, you know, our lives are in the balance. And some of us, man, because we're trying to do the right thing, we allow people to go too far. And that could be, you know, that those moments, seconds, minutes, or whatever, where we're still trying to de-escalate and say, hey, I want no problems, could be that time of span of time where it can happen to you just that quick, you know. And we have to be mindful of that, man. You know, we got people that pull us over every day. And, you know, it's sad that, you know, mothers and fathers have to tell their children, as well as mother and fathers, when they're stopped 10 and 2 on the steering wheel, because we got these people, man, that's gunning, you know, literally gunning, you know, to do away with somebody black. I think, man, that's only because I think a lot of them think that we're in fear of them. We're in fear of them to such an extent that they think they could do anything and everything to us and get away with it, you know. But those were two examples. I ain't gonna lie, man. Some may not appreciate seeing that or understand it, but for me, it's something I understand all too well. You know, not that ever happened, but and because that never happened, because how I won't allow, you know, certain, you know, things to go far. You know, the mind, man, my mind is wired to, hey, man, I know the signs, you know, and I was taught to know the signs, to know when, okay, man, no talking, ain't no talking, you know, let me prepare, you know, now I'm going into battle, you know, these brothers, you know, really, because that shit could have went way bad for the brother that was doing time, you know, had them people really been on their game and came in mass, they could have took him down, got him, gave my ass whooping for nothing, you know, for nothing, because some broad, you know, some CO want to be tough. Then the brother with the, you know, with the co-worker in, you know, that right there, that's, oh, really? That's a no-no. That wouldn't even went that far with me. But we're in this situation, man. We're in these times where people actually think that they can, you know, get away with stuff, man, and we're not going to do nothing. You know, people actually think this stuff. I just saw some on social media the other day about some shit in Compton, you know, with some young brothers and some of them other people, man. And it was like, I'm like, man, shit, you know. Anyway, we have to prepare, man, and we have to prepare for battle, prepare for war, because war is being waged on us, and we lacking, man. We are lacking. All right, and I'm gonna say enough of that. I'm gonna move on. You know, get to these comments, y'all. Get to these comments. But yeah, that all came about because Smoke had made a great point. Getting a living trust, EIN, you know, is important to have control of political power, basically of yourself as well. Them trusts, man, mean a lot. You get everything done the way it's supposed to be, man, they won't be able to touch anything you got going on, period. You know, that's another thing black folk need to do, man. Have control over their shit, you know, and not only that, but make sure their name ain't on nothing. So therefore, you know, people can't come just take what they will, or will, you know, take what they want, you know. All that shit is important, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate that though, Smoke. Rakufu said, I cannot wait until you put up the call-in number. I already know, bro. I already know. We're gonna make that happen, man. You know. So I've been getting laced on how to do that correctly, so that when we do it, I won't be making mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I won't fuck up, you know. But yeah, it's actually, man, I've been wanting to do this for a minute now. You know, I'm just getting around to it. A whole lot I didn't have in order, have in place to make sure that this thing runs smoothly. You know what I mean? Let me be 100 about it. But now I'm at that stage. Okay, now I'm getting, you know, the swing of the thing, you know what I mean? The swing of things. And I know how to do what I need to do, especially now. So now I'm feeling like that's the next step. And so again, before the week is out, you know, we're gonna get that a test drive, man. We're gonna get that test drive. We're gonna see what it do. Yeah. You go on to say, Rakufu, never stoop to a lower level unless it's to pull up your people to a higher level. There you go. There you go. JRL says, you think something big where this world is going to collapse is coming? I think, man. So if we're really focused, man, not just, you see, we have to be focused on everything. We have to be able to compartmentalize things, man, and yet keep them all at the forefront of our brains, man, so that we understand what's happening. Too much is going on. Too many distractions are being thrown at us, you know. So that means, to me, that means something else is going on that they don't want us to be privy to or be aware of. Now, if you look at what the Trump administration is doing lately, when we're talking about the Western Hemisphere, they are going in to Mexico, all of South America, the Caribbean islands. Venezuela was the first step. Cuba's supposed to be next. We don't know, but they're doing this for a reason. They're trying to secure all the resources in the region, in the hemisphere. They're trying to secure all the resources in the hemisphere. So China had its foothold in some South American countries. All of a sudden, that's no more. You know, from what I understand, China understands what's happening as well. They're doing it in the Pacific Rim. You know, you hear very little about it, but it's going on. Before we know it, we don't know how it's going to jump off. We really don't. But Taiwan could be, you know, the straw that breaks the camel back before all hell breaks loose. But America is saying, okay, they have reverted back to the Monroe Doctrine. Excuse me. In fact, they changed the name. They revised it to the Dunroe Doctrine. And what the Monroe Doctrine basically said was everything in the Western Hemisphere is America's backyard, and technically it belongs to America. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. In any country that don't agree, we'll show you. You'll fuck around and find out, you know? So the move with Venezuela, I think, was just the first step of that. Venezuela was already tied in with China and Russia and Cuba, you know, so they went and squashed that. They quashed it. They just dismantled that whole get down, and they did it under false pretenses. Oh, the man was a narco trafficker. You know what I mean? Boom, got him out of there, and still the puppet government who's going to do exactly what the administration says they want them to do. In fact, Trump said it. We run that. You know, sovereign nation, a sovereign nation wouldn't say we run that. You know, we you know. We'll administer whatever goes on there. We're going to take the oil too. You know, they're extracting the oil. So that's what I'm saying. When wars or rumors of wars are being discussed, man, when, you know, the war hawks are always talking about this nation and that nation thinking, you know, needing to be put in a place, wars on the horizon, man. You got the issue with Iran. They're trying to figure out how to, you know, get this thing up and running. A lot of other Arab countries are now siding with Iran because they see what's happening. Again, America's just took control. Mexico don't want no problems. Bow down. They bowed down, man. Just do your research, man. They bowed down. Colombia, all of them. The only one in the Western Hemisphere at this point who has not bowed down and told the Q is Brazil. You have a couple Caribbean countries who are talking that talk about resisting, but you know, chances are, man, you know, unless all of them are together, man, there's no way in the world, you know, one small island could defend itself against, you know, be real, the imperialist might of the United States and its military. You know, come on. But everybody, those who are talking about war, are trying to seize other countries who have the resources that would fuel or help a war to keep going. Russia's doing what it's doing, you know. They didn't latched on to Africa, and you know, them as well as China, they're in there. You know, they worked out agreeable deals and contracts with each other. Russia get 40%. The African countries fucking with Russia will get 60. China might be kind of losing over there because they don't like the way the Chinese go over there and treat the people. So China might, I don't know how that's going to turn out. But when you look at that, then you see, okay, something's going on. Everybody, not on land grab per se, but resources, oil, you know, uranium, you know, gold, you know, all these, you know, these natural resources that really matter. Lithium, bauxite, you know, shit that, you know, that they need to make shit with. And it ain't just for technology for us to buy devices and, you know, be distracted by them, but no, they're preparing for war. Look at France and Europe, the EU, the European Union, France and others. But now they're like, you know, damn that, no, we're not going to just let y'all kick us out. We're going to find our way back in. And now they're trying to ease their way back in. They bringing in troops and shit. They got troops in Ghana. America has troops in Nigeria, you know, in other places in Africa. Man, this shit is going down. So the suspicion is, you know, we might be headed actually for World War III. You know, look at what Israel is doing. They're making sure that the Palestinians or Hamas or anybody that support them cannot go over there. You know what I mean? To set up bases, shops, to have a direct line at Israel. Man, pieces are being put in place. Pieces are being put in place, you know. And, you know, again, if you understand warfare, you know, we, you know, some of us are, you know, on a lower level or not such a grand scale, have prepared for war. We know, you know, how to, you know, read signs, you know what I mean? When dudes mounting up, getting their shit together, you know, you hear shit, you know shit, you know. This is what's happening, man. You know, America and the West, all the Europeans, right along with Israel, are mounting up. They're trying to get their shit, their resources back fat. You know, anytime a sovereign nation tell another sovereign nation, we don't want to have nothing to do with you, back off, blah, 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 but the sovereign nation push anyway, to the point where they pushed up in there and took, you know, the head of state, you know, and took your resources. That should tell you something, because, you know, America has its own oil reserves. It has oil, you know. Then you have the West, you know, again, the European Union, they trying to push back into Africa, especially them states that didn't kick them out. The other African states are following suit of the Sahel. They're telling, you know, telling them, now y'all got to go, you know, and people, you know, Europeans, you know, the West are just not, they not going for it. They not leaving. They're steady trying to find a way either to kill off the leaders, you know, or send the spies in to find weaknesses. You know, they're going to willing African countries who have leaders who are weak, and they're saying, man, we're going to bring our people up in here. And that's what they're doing. They're bringing military gear. They're bringing the shit, man. Russia's trying to help as best they can. China's trying to help as best they can. Then you got certain countries like India and Brazil. They see what's happening, but, you know, they're trying to, you know, solidify, you know, or get as much shit as they can, because ain't no telling how that's going to turn. You know what I'm saying? Where they get drawn into this shit, ain't no telling. It's just a lot going on, man. And it only makes sense that it's happening like this because war is on the horizon. That's what we think. You know, that's what we think, you know. Again, this thing with, for instance, Ukraine and Russia, we think that was just a move or play to weaken Russia, to make them, everybody know Russia, man, they got shit, you know. They're not doing as bad as, you know, the media and the government wants us to believe, you know. Yeah, they get aid from China, they get aid from North Korea, they get aid from, you know, Iran. All of them work together, you know, but still all of them know something is happening. And again, you know, dogs are wagging their tails, man, and war hawks is talking up, you know, war. Basically, that's what we think, man. That's what we think. We think the shit is about to happen, man. And again, man, the economy is jacked up. Regardless of what Trump says, man, the economy is jacked up. And in a lot of respects, man, the only way to get the world economy really up and running is through war. You know, war, for whatever reason, man, it produces income. It kickstart economies. you know. But in order for these economies to be kickstarted again, or, you know, to bring some more life or breathe life back through the economies, they need certain resources to, you know, start production of what or for what. Trump is saying they're about to build, you know, this aircraft carrier like nobody's ever seen. And trust and know that's what they're gonna do. You know, they're selling European nations all these F-35s. You know what I mean? Come on, man, sum up, you know. Saudi Arabia just said, no, we're not with none of this shit, America. So it seems as if they're about to choose sides, you know. I don't know, man. We think something is coming. And as a result, I'm just, even let's say it don't take off or be to the extent of where there's a World War III and we got to start worrying about nuclear bombs and shit. But just war nonetheless. War nonetheless is war. And it's not always through weapons and guns, planes and tanks, you know. But there are financial wars. There are all kind of different wars, you know, that lead to that. And that's where we think, yes, something's up, you know. So that is, man. Divide, and again, whether or not that happens, it won't hurt us, man, to just, you know, in a time of peace, you prepare for war. You prepare for war, man. You just got to be ready, man, you know. So appreciate that, JRL, man. Smoke Man says, auditing the Social Security number through the U.S. Treasury to prove that they got paid and didn't pay the taxes to fund the fraud to prove treason. That's the new funk down. I'm trying to remember what I just read about. Oh shit. The U.S. Treasury. Something going on there. You know, it's all kind of shit happening, man. It's all kind of shit happening, man. Okay, that's the new funk down fine. Okay, I kind of get it. Smoke says again, auditing the court case through the U.S. Treasury to prove they haven't paid the taxes proves the fraud. Smoke know his shit, man. But we need Smoke up here more often. Lace us with these finances. We have a few brothers that actually do that, though. Okay, but you're talking about the EIN and all that. I assume, I suspect. The new funk down is proving the treason against you in the case is the biggest flex. Let me go back now. What would they label treason, though? Auditing the Social Security number through the U.S. Treasury to prove that they got paid and didn't pay the taxes to fund the fraud to prove treason. Yeah, man, we're going to need you to just jump up in there more often, though, Smoke. Break this shit down for us in layman terms, you know? All right, Roxy, I see you, sis. It's the home queen. How you doing, mama? Roxy says, when you spoke on segregation versus integration, Jackie Robinson, who broke the color barrier but dismantled the powerful Negro League, bad move, incredible power move, lost, heartbreaking. So we were just talking, Roxy, the other day about those of our people who sell out. And again, man, this is a cold machine, man. We have a lot of our people who sell out, but those who run everything, especially the media, those who can spin narratives and shit, they spin them in such a way to where we're led to think that they didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I mean? When you really dig deep and you understand how things played out or how they were made to toe the queue, you begin to see how we were sold out, that they sold us out, you know. And he's just one of many, man. He's one of many, you know. It's one of many, man. So even King had to admit that integration was the death of us. Now, initially, he sponsored it. You know, he was all for it. You know, they did what they did, and and figured out a way, man, to exist under, you know, the heel or the foot of segregation. And they did it in such a way to where they self-segregated to an extent. You know, they said, okay, damn the bus. We can ride in the back of the bus. We ain't even gonna take the bus. We're gonna start carpooling. And then, you know, they end up creating a bus line and shit like that. You know, them people recognize that, okay, damn, they flipped the script on us, you know. That's just one example. But when you go back to everything that our people have built, you know, in them southern states, Oklahoma especially, and other states, man, where the YT people wasn't needed for anything, they understood, the YT people, that they had made a big mistake, you know, to such an extent that if they didn't stop the progress or the progression of the Negro, you know, excelling, providing for himself and showing his people how to get it done, if they didn't stop that, it would have been the depth of them. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be in power like they are now. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what the situation would be now, but you know that, you know, they thought about it and they figured it out. Wait a minute, we can't allow this. You know, these are creative people. These are geniuses. You know, if we allow this to continue, then the best minds of them we won't be able to utilize, exploit to our benefit. And that's what they done. So they came up with integration, you know. And the cold thing about, I think, integration is that it was a new system put in place. However, the segregation or segregationist laws and the Black Crow shit, all the shit that they was doing to harm us was still in play. They still allowed the Klan to, you know, when they catch a black hanging, killing, you know, they were still allowing them to discriminate. You know what I mean? So integration, it was a front, you know, it never really meant nothing to us. It never meant to serve us. It just meant, it was meant to get us back into the fold so that we can do their work. It served them. It served them, you know, to take our people, our black children out of our schools, being educated by our people, to take our black doctors and nurses out of our hospitals, you know, that, you know, were helping to heal our people when they were sick, to shut down our black banks so that our people would put their money in their banks. You know, all this shit, man, is a game to them, man. It's their game. And we had people that helped them get over on us, straight up. That was then. Look at now. Same shit, man. Same shit, man. We got people, man, in the limelight. We have people, and when we were just talking about this the other night, who have the wherewithal, man, but they don't have a heart to say what needs to be said, because they want to make sure they secure their financial wealth. You know, they don't want to associate or be affiliated with anything we're going through. In their minds, man, they're living well. They're part of the program. You know, for a black person to be as rich as a lot of our people are and yet do nothing to support our people, that's a sellout, man. That's a person that's selling us out. You know, integration, again, it's been the worst thing to happen to us. The worst thing to happen to us. You know, these people, man, they come and get our people, man, and they take them away from our communities, man, and our people, they never come back with everything they know. And we're not damn the sports, man, damn the entertainment aspect of it. You know, let's talk about the political minds, man. Let's talk about the financial gurus. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about these people, man, that have gifts, man, that them people, those people don't have those type of people. You know what I mean? They ride on the coattails of our people. But they say, hey, man, recruit that person. You know, draft that person. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and it rings true. They start with the youngest of us, you know, preschool and all this. These standardized tests, the you know, all these tests they do. You know what I mean? That ain't for nothing, man. And that ain't for their kids. It's really not. They're really not. Those tests are for us to find the most intelligent, the best of us, and groom them along the way. By the time they reach high school, they got a full ride, man, to the best Ivy League, university in the land, or the world. A lot of them go to Oxford, overseas, man. A lot of them go, man. They recruit them so that we never can, or we never will, because again, we don't have our shit together. And so that's another play, that's another way, for them to get hold of our people. Say, people can't do nothing. You come on here and get this education, and then you go back and help your people. But that's never really the plan. That's never really how that's going to work out. But this is how they get them. Because I think a lot of our people want to come home or come back and do something for, the people in the community, or the community they come from. But once they get in there, they've been laced, man, in the worst way, that they won't come back. And again, some of them because they consciously decided not to, because they cool with the program, and others because they're in fear. Because they are in fear, That's just the reality, man. And again, we not no dumb people, man. A lot of us see what we see. We know what we know. Again, our frequency, man, is like no other. Nobody can feel the shit we feel, or just intuitively know the shit we know. You know what I'm saying? These people do that for a reason. And that reason is to make sure, man, our people don't come back, man, and pull us up. That's it. All these sisters and brothers who contribute technologically to their advancement, these huge corporations, and again, America's just a corporation. It's just a business, you know, but they go and man, they create shit for them. They even do this in Africa. They go over there and they recruit. That's what NGOs were for. All these organizations that go over there, man, and Red Cross and all of them, they go over there, man, mainly to spy and recruit. What they do, to make sure that blacks, Africans, or African Americans, FBA, whatever, never utilize their gifts, their talents, their intellect to help their people. No, that's a no. And I'm telling you, oh man, it's just so much, man. If we stop to think about it, we'll the answer be right there in our face. We'll get it. Let it go on. These people are serious about this shit, man. And so, we have people that are serious right along with them. We have people again that actually with the shit, man. That's with the shit. What's this dude name? Jesse Peterson. He has a platform. He has a channel. Black dude. Stump down raccoon, man. Stump down. Another one. Want to come around now and understand that she been played. The Owens sister. I forget her name. Her last name is Owens. Anyway, she married into him, but now she's realizing, damn, I fucked up. These people don't give a damn about me. I thought I was in. Wasn't in. Barack Obama sold us out. Straight up. It's no mystery, y'all. Don't get out your feelings, man. Get over, oh, that was a black president. No, he wasn't, man. Just looked like us. He wasn't black. The dude passed an anti-Asian bill to protect Asians from discrimination and all. He didn't do that for us. Come on, y'all. Who needs one more than us? Sell out, man. It's just what it is. We got a sister up in the Texas House of Representatives, and I hear people talk about her all the time. They love her. They love her. Jasmine Crockett selling us out. She'd rather give billions of dollars, man, to the Zionist regime in Israel rather than, you know, pass bills that get money, get resources sent to the district she's supposed to represent. It's simple shit, you know. It's simple shit. We just look at it like we should, head on. Just look at it, you know. Jackie Robinson was just one of many. One of many. We had our professors, some of our most intellectual brothers and sisters back in the 1910s and 20s sold us out. That information ain't hard to find, man. You know, so yeah, when you ask, okay, you know, that type of question, you know, yeah, man. Yeah, they did a lot of shit, and they did it again to sway the black population in terms of getting them to just toe the queue, integrate. You know, the whole time, man, that it has never been the goal to actually be integrated into a society that started or is based upon slavery. Come on, man. You know. Well, again, we got so many of our people do that to us every day. Every day, man. You know. And then a lot of us ain't no better. Let's be real. You know, myself, you know, played a role in this shit. I was selling out the community, the people. I was helping to destroy the community, man, the people. Straight up. Straight up, man. Caught up, man, distracted with their shit. You know. Yep. The Ray Sense, what it do? All right, home queen, I see you. Okay, I hear you loud and clear. I'll start doing that. I will do that ASAP. All right. All right. There you go. Understood. Appreciate that heads up. Yep. That's another thing, man. Our people we're not even really focused on the shit we supposed to be on. You know, open carry, concealed carry, all that shit. All us ain't criminals. You know, all of us don't have criminal records, you know. But for whatever reason, we're distracted from doing those things that's going to bring protection to us, you know, that can very well save our lives. We don't do that. We don't do those things that can help us along the way. Fact of the matter also is, that's crazy. Lorraine, since you said that, I don't know if y'all can see this, but I wrote on my notepad. Let me see. I can't get that thing out there. Disclaimer. Can y'all see that? No, you can't. Yeah, there you go. You see it? Disclaimer for videos, all things, you know. So I know I have to do this because sometimes you know, be careful. I hear you. But anyway, when it comes to open carry, concealed carry, you know, they take blacks through more hassles than anybody. More than anyone. There's a reason for that. You know, for those who know, the Milford Bill passed, I think, in 1970. That pertained to black folk, man. The Panther Party scared the shit out of them people. And they went against the Constitution, you know, to pass a bill to stop or make it very difficult for us to have firearms, and got the backing of the NRA. The NRA, of all organizations, backed them, you know. It's a lot of work, man. We have a lot of work. I appreciate that, Lorraine Sense. Thank you for that, though. You know, Alonzo Johnson said, I don't think the world gonna collapse. I just think the evil ones may be getting removed. Nah, man, because I'm gonna tell you something, and it's, you know, my opinion. It's too many of them that's tied into evil. You know, it's too many of them tied into evil. Now they number just the regular people less. They're less of them than, you know, the world population, but they run everything. They control everything. And don't think for a minute, let's say tomorrow shit just unraveled and the people all over the world rose up, over 7 billion people, right? Went after the 1%. You know what they would do? If the planes and tanks and guns couldn't stop 7 billion people, you know what they would do? Shh. Yeah, they'll blow this shit to kingdom come. They'll blow it to kingdom come, and they'll poison the land, you know, and they'll go wherever secret base and whatever mountain they have, you know what I mean? And that's where they'll be for the next 10, 20 years. They got that set up too, you know, but they nah, you know, this is why they're protecting, you know, I think this is why they're protecting what's ever in those files. All right. Those Epstein files, because those Epstein files hold files, hold all kind of files of people probably wouldn't think would be involved in this type of stuff. And then that what they're telling us, again, that ain't even a tip of the iceberg, man. You know, it's bigger than sex trafficking, you know, pedophiles, you know, cult sacrifices and shit. This shit is deeper than that, man. You know, and this is why we'll never get to the bottom of that, you know, because they know if that happens, then yet that collapse will take place. It will take place if that shit got out. And again, he just one, probably it might be 5 of them all over the world. You know, might be 5 of them all over the world, man. And that shit would open up other cans of worms. You know what I mean? If them files were really opened up to they're exposing other files, that would open cans of worms, man, that they won't be able to put the lid back on. You know, we'll start learning shit, man, that they adopted from Germany back in the 1920s and 30s, experimentations they was doing that they don't even want people to know they do, that they've been doing on people. This shit deep, man. Yeah, it could lead to a collapse. They're going to make sure it don't, though. And talking about some of them evil, they all messed up. All of them messed up. The meekest one of them all, Bill Gates, boy, dude's a monster. Allegedly. You know, but hey, man, you know. Alonzo, again, you say I don't think the world gonna collapse. I just think the evil ones may be getting removed. That's the thing. They just can't remove. Yeah, that's a tricky game they played in, you know. If the evil ones remove an evil one who might be cool with an evil one, and then like, well, I'm next. Oh shit! Before you come get me, spill the beans. You know, just all kind of shit, man. And then all these organizations, these secret organizations, these governmental organizations, NSA, CIA, all of them from all over the world. You know, do people start telling shit? Nah, they'll blow this motherfucker up, man. That's my take on that. Alonzo said, peace, everyone, in RGC. I hope all is well, and you, Bub, and yours. Thank you, brother. Likewise, you know, right back to you. Hope that you are well as well, man. All right, Anthony Tibbs, we see you, Grand Rising Kings and Queens. Right back to you. The homie, you say, let me have power there. Let me read this. The homie, you wrote the first one, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to butcher that. We're not even going to play that game again, bro. So let me read the second one you wrote. Looks interesting. Let me have power there. Let me become strong. 3, let me reap there. Let me eat there. Let me drink there. Let me woo there. And let me do all these things there, even as they are done upon earth. I see Osiris's name up in there. So that, you know, wherever you got that from, it have to be an ancient text. You know, you can share where you got that from. So, you know, give us a better idea. Alonzo Johnson says gold is sky high and raising right now. I forgot to mention that. The price of gold is going up. I read something yesterday where they're saying, don't be surprised or beware if the government do what it did in the 1930s where they went and took all the gold from everybody. You know, I was just reading that yesterday, you know. Well, there's something going on, man. You know what? I can't put my finger on it exactly, but hey, man, my imagination, man, it ain't curtailed, it ain't stymied. I got a vivid, boy, look here, I drum up some shit. And most of y'all probably say, oh man, that's some crazy shit. Is it really? You know? Man, there's shit going on. Okay, Alonzo Johnson said that's the Egyptian Book of the Dead. All right. Alonzo Johnson said the Mater Natur. The Mater Natur. The homie say text chapter, I don't know, shit, 50, 60, what's that, 60, 67? I don't know. It's probably more than that. CX, I don't know. The first Arit, the name of the tomb keeper is Sheket Ra Ash Aru. The name of the second watcher is Medihe. The name of the herald is Ha Heru. All right. Alonzo said that's the pyramid text. All right, James, I see you, brother. Peace and blessings. Salute right back to you, man. Anthony Tibbs say, man, I'm telling you, it's so many fighter jet orders and bomber planes being built. Hey, man, look. All we got to do is pay attention, man. Everybody in the Middle East is buying everything they can, man. All these oil, these oil-rich countries, you know, all of them. Saudi Arabia, man, Arab Emirates, just all of them. They're buying all kind of shit from everybody. They're not just buying America's shit. You know, they fuck with Russia, they fuck with China. You know, they're buying up people all over the world. The European Union, just look, man, they just had some shit the other day I was checking out. I was going to drop it, but I left it alone. But they're saying the European Union, NATO, they say, all right, you know, let's get our shit. Let's get our shit. Norway, the Norwegians are saying now they think they have to build them a bomb. This shit ain't just coming out of the blue, man. You know, this shit is going on for a reason. You know, it's going on for a reason. James says we got to move forward. If some get left behind, so be it. Also, I keep my mind focused on what benefits me positively, excuse me, teaching our people a bunch of ancient history that don't care about, that they don't care about doesn't help. Rakufu said, there are some passages from some of our Kemetic Egyptian ancestors. James goes on to say, what are people gonna do? What are people gonna do with a bunch of old information? We got to make the best of what we have now, because we can see a lot of people got their own little weird agendas, but that are not conducive to our people. That's true. Yeah, we need that knowledge, Smoke. Yeah, we need that knowledge, Smoke. Real spit, man. We have to get ready, because again, I think if people, let's say we don't have we don't have trust, or whatever we possess on is not in the trust. Our names are on them, and something go wrong, them, man, they can just come and just get it. They can just come and get it. But let them tell it. A trust is something totally different. Now, whether or not they'll honor it is something different also, you know. But hey, man, the shit hit the fan, man. Hey, man, they coming regardless. They are coming regardless. And they wager that most of us aren't ready. And again, there may be small conclaves of us who are organized, you know, that may have, you know, have it together. But to them, that's nothing, you know. That's this, you know, that's like a mosquito to them, you know. They swat it down, you know. We ain't got our stuff together, man. James said, you see, Bub, and then when it's broken down for us, what do we honestly get from it? We've been out, excuse me, we've been so out of touch with ourselves for so long, we can't go back to what our ancestors did. So we push forward. Yeah, and again though, them people know, they knew exactly what they were doing. All the knowledge of our ancestors, where we come from, our true religion, our languages. Yeah, man, that yeah, that's been commandeered, man. They took all that, man. And this is why we've been miseducated. We've been raised the way we've been raised, so that we are not that threat that could really, bring not just damage to them, but an end to them. That shit is not by accident. None of this shit is, man. It's not by accident. We see brothers all day, every day with the same shit. The same shit. Come on, man. Man, if that ain't by design, man, I don't know what is, man. We just all in with this BS, man. We could think something's gonna die down, and then boom, somebody is triggered, or I was having a conversation about this. They got technology, man, where we don't know who got these chips in them or nothing. This shit where they hit a switch and people start acting erratic and tripping out. You're like, damn, what happened to him? What's wrong with him? I mean, to such an extent, we can't explain it, man. We were saying the other night how life imitates art, or you could be, use it conversely, art imitating life. But I beg to differ. Life is imitating art. This shit, man, we see going on. We seen decades ago in movies, man, and here it is. Don't think, man, that they don't have shit to where, somebody can go in for whatever, man. You can go in for a colonoscopy, man, or something, man. And, ain't no telling what type of government agency is sitting in there when your ass go under and they slide something up your rectum. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying, going for an operation. There's no telling. There's no telling, man. We don't know this shit. Man, they got shit, man. As I'm talking, it could be somebody outside my window or in this room cloaked. I wouldn't even know they're there. Man, they got brain disruptors and shit. They got all kind of shit, man. We not even privy to, but yeah, man, we need knowledge, man, that's gonna help us fight, and then we learn all the old lessons as we go. I think that's important. I think education is important. But man, just the way the world is, we gonna need more than respectfully, more than book recitals or lessons from ancient texts, because they didn't took all our ancestors' knowledge, man, and they didn't put it to work. They put it to work. I was just talking to bro last night, man. Me and Drew was talking. Remember that movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark? All right. Remember that shit? And how I think it was the Ark of the Covenant, and just all these artifacts, man, that were artifacts that were just nothing but energy. And they had to go into, Africa and raid, the pyramids, the tombs, sarcophaguses, and find this stuff, the Germans, probably others, but that shit ain't far-fetched, man. It's just really not, we just aren't focusing. We're distracted, man. I think a lot of that shit is actually in play. A lot of what they know, they got from our people, man. A lot of what they know and use today, they got from our people. I'm gonna get off that conspiracy. Sorry about that, y'all. But I think a lot of that shit is in play. All right. But anyway, Smoke said, hold on, I probably went too far back, man. Yeah, I did. All right, here we go. Alonzo said, knowing of self, learn as much as you can about yourself, your family, the world you live in, down to the atom. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that we need to understand us first. Know thyself. I think because I'm telling you, it's gonna do wonders for us. It will. We'll be allowed to know what we're capable of. You know, that's what I think. I think it's important to, for each and every one of us to educate ourselves about ourselves, the individual first. So I don't disagree with that. Knowledge of self, I think, is key. And it might get us a little further along than we think. But the things that I think that we'll need in case something do go awry, if something goes wrong, we don't have those tools. We don't have, the apparatuses and all the shit that really it would take to engage. You know what I mean? So that's what I say. James Cash shit, man, that's real shit, bub. They've been trafficking us forever. Ain't nothing new, y'all. They ain't just been trafficking us, they've been eating us. And now they're trying to figure out a way to extract our DNA from us. In fact, far as we know, they already probably found a process. Ain't no telling. I don't know. Whatever, let's say for instance, whatever that gene is that not necessarily kills the DNA, black people didn't make them albinos, you know what I mean? That's just one way to look at it. But that other disease that I forget the name of it, the one Michael Jackson had, where the DNA starts to leave the body and it turns pale. You know what I mean? There's no doubt in my mind, man. They researched that shit, man. They researched that shit. They know what that is. You know what I mean? They know, and I don't mean just, okay, in terms of, okay, this is what I did, but in terms of, they know in terms of how to harness it. That's what I think. That's what I think. Anyway. Smoke from Miami says, man, generational wealth is organic land harvesting enough to feed the villages and towns. And we were talking last night, man, here at the home, man. We were talking at first, like, damn, we didn't know it was supposed to rain last night, and someone said, you know what, damn, it's a trip because earlier in the day, I saw these chemtrails everywhere, so I was saying that, I mentioned that to say, man, if they can produce rain, snow, whatever, hurricanes, tornadoes, you know what I mean, then don't put it past them that they got, they can weaponize weather. You know what I mean? If they didn't want segments of the population growing their own food, they know how to destroy them crops. With pestilence, man, with weather, you know what I'm saying? Chemicals, whatever, man. Drop it on some shit quick. Boom, So again, no matter how we look at it, man, we're in a struggle, man. We are in a real live war. We just don't look at it like that. We don't focus on it like that, but they do. They do. Jane says, man, I'm down for a movement, a mission with motion. Let's put our words into actions every day. We can shout it all day long, but being about it and putting all 10 toes down for it, that's the real. And what else is, I don't disagree. A lot needs to be done or can be done. But here's the thing. we need to also be mindful, man. Again, we started out talking about, not initially started out talking about traitors and sellouts, man, but trust and know they exist, man. More exist now than ever before. You know, some of our own people, they playing ball, you know. So say for instance, just hypothetically speaking, we wanted to have a movement. It'll get crushed, man, before it got started. Because we'll have people amongst us, our people, will run back and say, hey, this is what they're doing. You know? I think that. I truly think that, man. That's how messed up, the situation is, you know? That's how fucked up it is. I'm getting these comments, man. Just thinking about this shit giving me a headache, man. I swear, man, this shit's crazy. Vitiligo. Okay, that's the disease Mike had. I hope that's it. I'm saying it right. Vitiligo. I think it's another name. Okay. Anyway. But this fucking headache, man. James going to say, man, it's all about a revolution for us, and it's fixing to go down one way or another. Yeah, there are all kind of revolutions, man. You know what I mean? Which one we gonna light into first? You know? What about a revolution of Vitiligo. I said vitiligo. What'd I say? All right. Ooh, excuse me. What I was saying, I had my train. I think one of her first revolutions, James, is a revolution of cleansing. Cleanse the ranks. Cleanse the ranks, man. You know. But anyway, you say it's all about a revolution for us, and it's fixing to go down one way or another. You're going to say, fuck Barack, straight goofy cornball puppet. A sucker is no different than the white tees. Worse than an Oreo. He just another buster clown. Fake MF ain't spent one day in the hood. Oh, he tries to talk about Chicago like that was to get out. He grew up there. If you go back, well, he had the swag and shit. You gotta admit it. See, look, man. They be finding the right ones, man. Man, we have to admit, most of all of us were fooled. You saw them men like, oh man, there we go, man. Black power, yeah, brother and sister. Shit. Alonzo said, man, Jasmine fight for the illegals, not our people. Again, they fight, and not just her, but Barack. They fight for everybody but us. Everybody but us. And again, they allow these people to intimidate them. Whatever, they put them in this frame of mind where it ain't worth, fighting for us. We ain't got no future. That's how I would, read into that, They not willing. Look, man, you couldn't get these same people to be in the street and see some shit going down with a brother or sister. It disadvantaged, you know what I mean, in terms of life or death situation, and they will stop and get out and hey, he go, I go, she go out, no, they'll probably drive up the street, dial 911 while this individual, could be getting killed or murdered. That, they don't think like a lot of us think. And let me go on and say, a lot of us don't think like that either. Yeah, we in the worst way, man. We're in the worst way. The fucking fight, man, it's an understatement, man. James going to say, man, these people are messed up in the head, all the way bamboozled. And again, that go for a lot of us, though. It's actually it's a cold process, a transition, man, from being traumatized or being part of a problem, being someone who impacted the community, man, in such a negative sense, man, a way. You know, for those of us who are able to come back from us, man, that's a cold process. You know, and especially for those of us who just, hey, man, you're at the point where you see everything you've done with just some fuck shit, with some straight fuck shit, man. You know, frame of mind is like, damn, man, I want to blame A, B, and C. But when you come into this realization that you're a part of some shit, you know, it also dawns on you that you were more responsible than anybody for your behavior. You know, a lot of us are being bamboozled, being led astray, man, just being worked. A lot of us are suckers. A lot of us have played the role of all that. A lot of us still do, you know. Again, though, I have to agree and ask the question that you just posed. How do we come up from under that? What do we do other than just talk about what we know, the things we know that ails us, you know? It's a lot, man. So it's a whole lot. So do we say, okay, this won't be it won't happen in our lifetime. So what do we do? Do we go then and really educate the youth? Where do we start? What age group do we start to educate our young brothers and sisters so that in 10 years or 5 years, they're ready when the shit hits the fan, if it already hasn't? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, talking is just cheap. But okay, what plan do we have? Because, you know, if us just saying, hey, man, let's get together, it don't work like that. You know? What's the best way to go about doing that? The same way these people come into our communities, the same way they educate our youth, our kids, man, you know, our sons, our daughters, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, is the same way we should go about doing what need to be done. We do the same thing. We start to educate, you know, our youth in the realest way. In the realest way, you know. We start to educate, and the first thing we may want to do is take these cell phones and laptops, these, you know, all these gadgets and shit from them. Take them camping, take them fishing, show them, you know, what trees are, you know, what fruit, what the name of fruits, you know, and understand nature and shit like that. Give them history lessons, you know. Probably be best to start from now and work your way down so that they could get an understanding how, you know, how things transpired going backwards, you know. I don't know, man. What do we really do, man, in order to combat this shit we know is going on? Because if we talking about going out just that's suicide. It's revolutionary suicide, man. We have to think, you know. I think that's one of the ways to start, you know, reaching, you know, our people, especially the young ones, the ones whose turn it will be sooner rather than later, you know. The same way these people do our children, we should do the same thing. Educate our own. And that's what really turned the tide back in when there was segregation. Our people educated each other. It's the best thing that happened to them. You know? Yeah, we're integrated now. That don't mean we cannot put education in its truest sense on top of this miseducation they feeding us or feeding our children. You know? You know? We don't have goals. We don't have game plans. It's going to change some shit, you know? And I think the first step, man, is educating our young ones. Just educating them. See, because there's really no harm in that. You know, they really can't say, okay, this sedition, that, you know, you're an enemy of the state. We're just educating people. Something everybody do every day. You know? Oh, we're not taking them out of school per se. He go to school. When he come home, though, we want to educate them some more. That's not against the law. You know what I mean? But we give them that education that's going to help their minds to expand. You know what I mean? It's going to give them, it's going to, you know, spark the intellect. It's going to make them better human beings. stronger human beings, you know? That's what I say, man. Shit. James going to say that Hollywood done mess with everyone's mind to the point that they don't know how to think for themselves anymore. The internet thinks for people because they don't know how to teach themselves. Yeah, man, but it's just that that's taking a place. So we're rusty, you know? Yeah, to some extent, we forgot how to learn, you know, some real shit or be educated properly, you know? We've been so far removed from it. Yeah. All right. Alonzo said, man, Alonzo John's first. I'm gonna go back. You said Jasmine fight for illegals, not our people. Then you a couple down. You said, but we not destroying nothing now. All right. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing, sisters? Kimberly Mitchell, everybody's one of the home queens. You know, one of our RGC members, a member of the congregation. You know, peace and blessings, sister. She says, Hoover, hey, real ones, I'm here. Happy to tap in. We're glad that you're here. Man. Whole lot we got to do that we aren't doing, man. But there's a whole lot that distracts us, hour by hour, daily, you know, weekly, monthly. Again, this is a cold machine, man. It's a cold beast. Cold beast, man. Fucking headache, man. Yeah, man. We up against it. Smoke Miami man says, knowing how to give a lead with precision in any situation is formidable. Knowing how to give a lead with precision in any situation is formidable. You're going to say, Smoke, they got to get off the land. They lost. Also, we are in the middle of transition in government. We are in the middle of transition in government. Alonzo said, man, I just believe that the Most High got a plan just like they planning. Yeah, I think that, again, we had this discussion about us being of the cosmos. We're the cosmos, man. You know, you know, there may be something to that. You know, but at the same time, does that mean, okay, we want to sit and wait? You know, is that the plan? Is that what you're suggesting? That we have to just sit and wait? We're going to wait, you know, for something, you know, to switch on in us or fall out of the sky before we decide to start, you know, taking steps that will prepare us for whatever the Most High have in store for us. So whatever that is, you have to admit we're not even going to be prepared for that. You know, I don't know, man. Hey, Smoke, I agree with you on that one. The power is going back to the matriarchal rules, y'all. And see, this is another thing that more of our miseducation, where the patriarchal rule was everything, was first. It was what it was, and that's not true. That's not true. That's not true, man. That just, you know, that just some more that false narrative shit, you know. But we say, I've been saying, man, I think, you know, Alonzo saying, hold on. I want to say that correct. You know, hold on, where'd it go? Oh, Alonzo was saying, Bub, I just believe the Most High got a plan just like they planned it. And I think that, man, you know, the plan for us is going to make all this shit make sense, man. It's going to bring us all together, or our sisters, or our queen mothers. I'm telling you, I think my soul says that. My soul trusts that. It ain't really us hard-headed dudes, man, think we are the shit. We know everything, you know. We gonna lead everybody to the, I think it's, man, the matriarchs, man. That's what I think, you know. And I've said this before, you know. I think they are first in all things, you know. Men just want to say we got bigger muscles, we're stronger. They can't do that. Yeah, whatever, you know. But that's what I think, bro. I think our salvation, you know, for us, our people's gonna start is we're gonna get it from our sisters, our queen mothers. And they're gonna, you know, they're gonna lead the way, but lead the way in the sense to where they're gonna guide, they're gonna know how to lace us tight to where we go when it's time for us to go. We going, man, you know, representing, man, everything that just showed us the way. You know, is that the Most High's plan? I don't know. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. At 82, Derek 44. Hey man, this is shit Under the Groove podcast, man, and you are touching base with the people. Hey man, peace and blessings. You're welcome to be here, man. This is where we get down with the get down and we focus on the focus. It's good to see you up in here, brother. All right. It's an honor for you to be here amongst us, man. And you going to say Black History Mother should be in July. Do you want to say Black History Month? I'm not sure. But it reads Black History Mother should be in July, August, or September. February is an insult. I said that, you know, and I'm sure you're saying Black History Month. But February, man, the shortest month of the year. And again, we should not accept or go along with that anyway, period. You know, we just shouldn't. I don't care who came up with it first or who told them to come up with it first 100 years ago. You know, Negro History Week or whatever it was. You know, I don't think every day, 365 days a year, man. Every day is a day we should commemorate our still just being here, man. The contributions, man, you know, that we gifted the world, man. That should be commemorated every day. That's the insult, man. To even say any month of the year, just 1 month, man, that's the insult, you know. But hey, man, appreciate you up in this get down, brother. We do this from Monday to Friday, all right, 6:15 past 8. You see, it's already past 8. But hey, man, you know, we're looking for like-minded brothers who want to come in and chop it up, have a conversation, man, talk about things, and through those conversations, we hope to reach, you know, a solution, you know, a plan, you know, that's going to help us, man, to do better, not just in our individual lives, man, but as a people, as a unit. You know what I mean? We need every brother and sister, and not just to come to this channel, man, but all those channels that represent positivity, unity, love for Black people first. We say here, B1. B1 equals Black first. That's all we, you know, we stand on that, you know, respectfully. You know, it's not to insult anyone, but we stand on that, you know. This is what it's about, man. We have neglected ourselves for everybody else. And no one else appreciates anything, nothing we've done, man. Nothing that we've been through, our experiences. Again, they don't even appreciate the advice we give them. You know, when we say, hey, don't go do that. What y'all know? Y'all know shit. And boom. All right. Told you. You FAFO'd. We told you, you know, but don't nobody appreciate us, man. So we have to begin to appreciate ourselves, man. And I'm telling you, the only way to actually get to that point, we have to start communicating, because I think that's that's our greatest flaw. We don't communicate. We do not know how to communicate with one another. We have been so indoctrinated that, man, we do not even know how to speak to one another with joy, with love. You know, with the thought that this is my brother and my sister. You know, we have something in common. Your experiences are mine. So you're more than welcome to be here, 82, man. Appreciate you, Derek. All right. Smoke said, imagine what we can do as intelligent beings to create more abundance blissfully. We had one of the greatest botanists, you know, who was that? George Washington Carver, man. Now, his politics was were just jacked up, man. Think about that, right? Anyway, this man knew what he knew. This man knew what he knew, man. Damn the peanut. They don't even tell you the whole story. They just give you the peanut, man. And I'm pretty sure that was George Washington Carver. But all the knowledge, man, in terms of whatever he wanted to grow, he knew how to do it. You know, that exists in him, and it exists in a lot of us, man. We got to know how. You know, again, it's encoded in our DNA. You know, so if we want abundance, and we're talking about it, just just in terms of not just creating things for the world to enjoy, to live more comfortably with, but just we could grow our own shit and do damn good at it. I think, there's just one aspect of having something in abundance, or having the knowledge of that, to do that, man. In case something went wrong, we know how to go to any patch of land, man, and we grow some shit like it had GMO. You know what I mean? I think that's our ability. We have that. But overall, yeah, man, we are intelligent beings who can create anything in abundance. Anything. Man, shit. Smoke, you going to say, man, that's called probing. Wait, excuse me, yeah. Imagine what we can do as intelligent beings to create more abundance blissfully. You're going to say that's called probing. It's something that they use to do multiple things. Oh, smoke on tonight. James says Black History Month was dedicated to the shortest month and quite depressing month. I'm always angry around February. I'm not a happy individual this time of year. Yeah, all right. Rakufu, you said, man, the knowledge of our spiritual script is key in being grounded. Ask yourself if it was taken from us, it's critical to attain it or to take it back. Yeah. But we have to be educated. We have to know how to go about doing that, and that's just my take on that, man. We need to be, our education, man, it has to start all over, man. It has to. It should start all over. Straight up. All right, C1. Good to see you, Queen. All right. Rakufu said, man, if you don't think regrounding ourselves in ancient scripture, you're fooling yourself to continue the foolishness. I think ancient scripture, I think the scripture is, I think it's imperative to know. I do. However, I think that just living as we do, we're in these times where it would take us, I think, longer to learn and understand the ancient scripture than it was for us to get back to fundamental education, or the educating of ourselves just on basic shit, man. Just on basic shit, so that we're school, we're educated to a point where we can go grab the ancient scripture and, hey, man, comprehend what we're dealing with. At the level that most of us are educated on, bro. Let's be realistic. We would not even know how to comprehend most of what is written, because some of that is esoteric. Some of that is written in such a way, bro, that the average mind just not gonna grasp it immediately. It may take time, So education on either level, I think, is imperative. It's needed. But when we're talking about our ancient text, man, we're talking about an intellect that, again, man, that can't be matched the world over. It has not been surpassed. In fact, it is the only intelligence, especially in that scripture, that form, as old as it is, that is used today, that people actually use. And they use it against us. They use it for their benefit. They use it for a lot of reasons. Facts, but are we ready for that? And if not, should we not prepare for that? How do we prepare to, take that in, man? I'm just saying, bro. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I just think that there are a lot of steps, man, that we have to make sure we take just in order, man, to step up to some of that magnitude and trust and know you know better than us, better than most. That, hey, man, that right there ain't no joke. That is intellectual. That on a level, man, a lot of us just not gonna comprehend readily or right away. It's just not. I mean, that's how deep it is. A lot of us can't go that deep. So we have to prepare for that deep dive, be able to take in that information that's there. That information that is there is for our benefit. Yeah, but how can it benefit us if we can't comprehend it? A whole lot of remedial shit got to take place for we can even begin to want to dissect that, man. That's just my take on that, bro. James say, appreciate you, Derek, man. Happy Wednesday. Hope all is well with you, King. Nothing but love and the utmost respect to you and yours, my brother. Stay true and stay down. One. Appreciate that, man. Yep, that's how it be, though, man. Appreciate you up in here, Derek. Wakufu goes on to say there's a critical reason it was took from you in the first place. No doubt. No doubt, man. No doubt. And not only took from us in the first place, but never given back. Yeah, so I don't disagree. Smoke say Michael Jackson's skin melted due to the severe third-degree burns during that Coca-Cola or that soda commercial when the Cherry Curl caught on fire, and reconstructed Michael's facial recognition to the public. Apologies. Yeah, but he did have that what is it called, vitiligo or whatever that is. He did have that though, and I don't think the fire from the soda commercial caused that. All right, C1. She said, I literally just launched my EP. One song on the EP is Greedy Pig. I talk about how the mining giants are the main contributing factor to the death of my people, our land, and the state of our economy. And the state of our economy. Get that work in. Put that work in, sister. Get the word out. Rakufu said, remember Dr. Frankenstein created the Negro / creature who, like us, had the life redirected in the doctor's way of thinking. Yeah. Frankenstein shit, they are Frankensteins. Yeah, they created monsters. Yeah. Remember Dr. Frankenstein created the Negro / creature who, like us, had the life redirected in the doctor's way of thinking. Yeah. Lil H Top, how you doing, brother? And not to be remiss about that, Rakufu. Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Cold thing. Yeah. Lil H Top, how you doing, loved one? He said, what's up, Big Bub? I talked to a Wild Bunch. He said he see when you said free his mind, and it's always going to be there from day one. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Tell the loved one I sent mine again, man. And got him in our thoughts. That go for all of us, though, James. I think we're all works in progress. You know what I mean? Some of us, and here's the reality as well. Some of us learn faster than others. Some of us comprehend quicker than others. Some of us retain knowledge and education better than others. You know what I'm saying? But still, it's all a process. We're all works in process, in works in the process, So there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's just a matter of allowing the process to take effect, allowing it to work. A lot of times, man, we have those things that, again, interrupt the process. You know, the process of growth, maturation, the process of intellectual growth, you know, um, the process of evolving. You know what I'm saying? A lot is at stake. A lot is at work that keep that from happening. We said the other day, we talked about it. A lot of our people are in a state of arrested development, but it's not through necessarily a fault of their own. It's the system plays a big role in that. But again, at what point do we get to, the stage, our stage, or any stage in our lives where we say, okay, wait a minute, man, I've been dummied down for too long. You know, it's on us, man, to come up from that shit, man. We have to, be a part of the process as much as the progress, of us evolving. We have to be in that shit, in that fight. That's what I think, shit. Lonzo said, man, I hurt myself, my family, and my community. I'm done with the BS. Again, brother, so many of us can relate on that level, man. And I'm telling you, man, it's only those who are really just genuinely sincere about getting to that point where we see the damage. You know what I mean? I mean, real life damage, man. The impact of our actions on our community, and that impact is still being played out today. It takes individuals. See, that's the growth of an individual, man, to first recognize, like, damn, man, I did this, and wanting to have, I think, not just the mindset, but the heart to say or accept that I need to make some changes. Wanting to have the mind to say, I need to make some changes, wanting to have the mind to say, man, how do I fix this? Is it fixable? A lot of us think that when we get to the point through our transition, through this process, we reach a point, a stage where we say, damn, I was a part of that. How do I, can I correct, any, of my actions from back then or whenever, my faults? What can I do to make this thing better? Yeah, man, that's a part of this process. That's your progress. In fact, at work, you are progressing. But everybody don't, especially a lot of us who done the damage, done the work to destroy our community. A lot of brothers and sisters never reach that stage to where they recognize, man, that they are a culprit, in the destruction of our communities. A lot of us don't get that far, bro. So you have to appreciate it. I think you do, to the point where you could, your journey, you realize your journey's just starting, and you're gonna have to appreciate that journey. We don't know what's on this road, man, but I know for me, I can speak for me. Hey, man, I owe whatever it is, man. I know my debt, man. It's a cold debt, man. And this is one you can't, I can't fully pay. I can't pay this debt, man. But I'm willing. I'll do everything I can. I look at some situations. There's a situation, man. It's a lot to this shit, man. A lot to this. All right, James, I see you, bro. You said best wishes to all the kings and queens in the RGC who are under the groove, represented nationwide. We all have a purpose here. Let's not waste this beautiful opportunity we all have called life. Appreciate hearing that, man. Appreciate hearing that. I'm gonna read this last one. Smoke say, man, Barack Obama is Adolf Hitler's granddaughter. Michelle Obama is a man, and they were worse than Jeffrey Dahmer. Cannibalistic pedophiles on Jeffrey Epstein's island and underground cities. And I'm telling y'all, hey man, this Epstein shit, what they talking about, man, ain't even the tip of the iceberg, man. It's nothing. It's nothing compared to not what went on, but what's still going on. He just he has all the drawings, you know what I mean? There are files in that file, again, that we'll probably never know exist, you know, because for that shit to get out, yeah, man, whole countries and governments could very well collapse. You know, the trust of the people will vanish, will evaporate, man, if they learn what's really in that shit. You know, that's what I think. You know, but yeah, man, you hit the nail on the head with that one. They got a whole lot of shit still going on. And again, Jeffrey Epstein was not the head of the snake. You know, he was just a hireling. You know, made him rich in the process, but he had a job to do. For those who had those type of desires or cravings, you know, fetishes, whatever, for those sadistic individuals, man, who run the world, you know, who love eating barbecued human, beef jerky, human jerky. He facilitated all of those gross ass desires, man. Queen Nzinga say, Rakufu loved the Dr. Frankenstein analogy. Yeah, man, it was tight. It was tight. All right, James. You stay strong, man. Stay positive. Continue to focus on the focus. Don't allow February to be the month, man, that upset you, man. Come on. You know, you're stronger than that, you're better than that. And people, we ought not allow February to be the month that they designated for us to want to commemorate our history, you know, and not just what we've contributed to the world, but also, man, keep in mind or always remember what they've done to us throughout time. You know what I mean? That's what I say on that. The homies say Revolutionary Suicide is the political autobiography of Hugh Newton, co-founder of the Black Panther Party, first published in 1973. It blends memoir, political theory, and legal narrative. Yeah, I actually have the book. Yeah. I actually have the book. But if you think about it, and I have, anytime you want to have a revolution, you want to change the status quo or something, you have to know that in and of itself, that's like suicide. You may not survive that. You know what I mean? You know, it's like, yeah, almost signing your own death certificate, man. Because, you know, chances are, you know, come on, man. You know, they'll attempt to make sure you don't see it to the end, you know? So to go into that knowing that, you know, and I'm just, making up this as I go, but it makes sense to me. Knowing that, going into that, knowing that could be considered revolutionary suicide. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have the book though. You know, I actually have the book, so I understand the book. I'm just, coming up with my own shit, and I do that often. You know, I do that often. So we got to be ready, to put our lives on the line. Basically, in some instances, fall on our own swords if we want to change shit, So that it is, man. All right, James. You went on to say, thank you, Lonzo. I truly feel the realness, the raw energy and passion in this get out. Trust and believe me. Everyone in here has their hearts, souls, and minds in the right frame. I appreciate y'all. Black is the most beautiful, the most intelligent, and the strongest. Brothers and sisters shape this world and have made permanent impacts. Nobody can take our identity from us. Black fist up high. Peace and blessings, James. All right? Peace and blessings, bro. All right, Kimberly Mitchell said, man, drink some hot tea and put some miscellaneous ointment on. He'll feel better. Allergies, I pray for you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're talking about me because this shit is fucking with me, man. I'm kind of, kind of worried at first because it was all in my neck and shit, but that went away. It's just here now. It's centered here. So, you know, I feel it, but it's okay. I got it. Appreciate the advice too, sister. Rakufu said, I know it's not the man or the woman, but the creator. Undescribable entity. Just because man or woman can't control or describe it doesn't mean it ain't real. Okay? Hear, hear. Alonzo said, man, the women gonna bring the community together. I think so. Men just gotta listen. We have to not be so chauvinistic when that happens, you know. Allow the women to lead, man. Takes all kinds, you know. Takes all kinds. All right, y'all. I done got my text. I done got my text. I think the beauty in this is, again, we could do this, man, 5 days a week, you know. And I look forward to it. You know, I look forward to it. I hope to everybody, man, just, you know, just say, man, you know, put some value on yourselves, man, you know. And what I mean by that is, man, love yourselves enough to know that your worth, man, is bigger and greater than anything monetarily speaking, anything materially speaking. You know, your love and your worth, man, I'm telling you, is what, in fact, if we look at it right, we allow it to do what it presents us, just to be loved, you know, and to love ourselves so that others can love us, we can love others. If we allow that to do what it's supposed to do, yeah, for real though, man, couldn't nothing fuck with us. You know, allow yourself to just be loved, man, by self first. You know what I mean? And that love, I'm telling you, it's so powerful. It's strong enough. You know what I'm saying? You can melt it and pour it on people. You know what I mean? That's what we want to do, you know? So take care of yourself, man. Take care of each other, all right? One love, y'all. And all power and blessings to touching bases with the people and the Royal Group congregation. Take care, everyone. Peace.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hurst, and writing future history. From the Apollo to the Borough to the Sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transformed suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than Actors, hats, and Mercedes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive, watch you the applause for polls. Need your data, tropes, and constant any problem when the wet just wanna build the season bait. Now don't get the pause. It's just erasing up the cons. Plead the markets off the main. Make it honor fans. Turn the neck and love the durn. Suffer like a kesha. You went from the preaching up on side is each alone. Bitch on the shit and untrue seeing vet. Someone that varied it's on Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the banner vin. If wait something for the marker, make the keep them from the club and saw the bloods to the Sanger land is carried open stone to keep us lucky. No, my mother, break it, generosity, more than he and let the peasant be. It's every time we keep a spawn.